Good afternoon. We will get started shortly. If you are able to, or if you're comfortable with that, if you could move into the center just a bit while we've got a few extra people coming in. We want to make sure that everyone has a seat. Thank you. It's not loud enough. It's on. Testing. That's better.
Okay.
Welcome. Good afternoon. My name is Lottie Ferguson. I'm the Chief Resilience Officer here at the City of Flint. And on behalf of Mayor Neely, I want to welcome you here today for this afternoon's informational session on several topics. We are pleased that you are able to join us. I do want to recognize Council President Dennis Pfeiffer, who's back there in the corner. Thank you so much for joining us today. First off, a bit of housekeeping. If you need to use the restroom, they are down the hall and to the right. Also, there are lots of folks here today, so in order to keep some order and efficiency, we want to ask those of you who have questions to fill out the index cards that are on the back table there, and we've got Faith and Latrice from our Office of Public Health. If you wave your cards, they will come by and pick those up for you. Also, if you are a retiree and you have questions specifically regarding your pension, payments, health care, anything related to that, please see Daryl Petway. He's in the back right there. Wave your hand, Daryl. So those questions should not go on the cards. You can go see Daryl directly. And also, if you have questions regarding service line replacement or your yard restoration, feel free to call 810-410-1133. That's 810-410-1133. And again, if you have questions regarding the topics discussed today, please grab an index card from the back table, complete your question, and then wave it in the air, and either Faith or Latrice will come and pick those up for you. Thank you again for joining us, and I'm happy to introduce the Mayor of the City of Flint, Sheldon Neely.
Well, good afternoon, and this is another great day as God has made. It's a slash informational session, press release type of setting. We're going to be covering three topics today. We're going to be covering our retiree pension system, water infrastructure, and our American Rescue Plan dollars. You know, I want to thank everybody because when I look out on this from this stage and see all these people here, I see a lot of city employees. I don't know if you guys use this as an opportunity to get away from work for a couple hours in the daytime, but that's okay. A lot of good news, But first, I have the city employees here. I want to take this opportunity to personally thank you for all the great work that you do on behalf of the great citizens of this community. Also, I want to take an opportunity to thank Council President Dennis Pfeiffer for being here and to be engaged as a co-branch of government, working together to serve employees and also residents. When I say serve employees, because you guys actually perform and perfect the services for residents inside the city of Flint. It is our job to give you the tools that's necessary to go forth to present to the residents of the city of Flint. Also, our retirees and past employees of the city. Great news for you guys today, and great work has been done on your behalf. I want to give shouts out to Lottie Ferguson, also Phil Phelps, for making sure that we have the level of support we need out of Lansing and also our Genesee County delegation. But we have changed the game inside the city of Flint. This is what we call good news here. And you guys are all agents of the good news that we have to put forth inside the city of Flint. From public safety to street maintenance to water services to our county and all of our other partners and our philanthropic partners. And this is a saying I stole from Council President Dennis Pfeiffer when we talked about the EMS presence in our community. You know, we talk about partnerships being the platform to progress. Now, if he wasn't in here, I wouldn't have gave you credit for that. But you here, and I gave you credit for it. But definitely, we have a lot of partnerships moving forward. Now, explaining what we have going forward with the $220 million from the state of Michigan, to be able to talk about almost $250 million to be infused in a system that's going to support our retirees and our future retirees moving forward. That was our structural deficit inside the city of Flint. That kept the Grim Reaper over the city of Flint because we could never overcome that level of that structural deficit. Rob Whittinger, which is our CFO, and I have 100% confidence in him and his ability in doing this. This really changed the game for the city of Flint. One working employee to every 4 retirees, a system that was underwater, emergency managers coming in to deconstruct our systems. But now we can move forward. I'm proud to say with our hardworking men and women of 1,600 and 1,799, also our fire and police, we have contracts now. I believe in that. I believe in the unions, and we'll continue to partner with you and your president, Sam Muma, and Don Lewis, and the other presidents of collective bargaining. But right now, I want to bring up Rob Whittinger to talk about the pension piece, and then we'll go quickly into the rest of it. But definitely, you're going to get good information here. This is where we bring clarity to confusion, and thank you for your attention to this. Rob, come on up. Give him a round of applause. Like that.
All right, so as you can see here, we were on track to be paying a $40 million annual payment to our pension system, which would have directly impacted city services to our residents. However, this is no longer the case thanks to our partners in Lansing and Governor Gretchen Whitmer. These funds are going to be effectively moved into our, These funds effectively move us from crisis to recovery, all made possible through prayer, planning, and partnership. The pension issue has been a problem for the city of Flint for more than a decade and a half now. Emergency managers simply kicked the can down the road. They made no efforts to truly address these issues for the residents of the city of Flint. Once you have a structural deficit, as the mayor had mentioned, it's nearly impossible to provide the city services our residents need and deserve. But thanks to the hard work of this administration and the finance team, we have secured $170 million from Lansing in this year's state budget that will go towards the city's pension plan, with an additional $50 million allocated in the state budget to ensure all communities, including Flint, reach 60% funded ratio. $220 million will bring the city of Flint's pension system to approximately 60% funded. This is reducing the city's annual pension payment to around $18 to $19 million compared to the $32 to $40 million we once faced. This will ensure our hardworking employees and retirees' pensions remain secure and funded. This also ensures we can continue to invest in adequate city services to ensure that our residents do not see a decrease in the services that they receive. This represents a huge step forward in securing the finances for the city of Flint for generations to come. All communities in Genesee County, not only Flint, that are under 60% funded in their pension will be receiving funded out of this year's state budget. Discussions, however, are still being made with community partners and our legislative partners in Lansing to address the remaining 40% that is underfunded. Overall, this represents good governance, good planning, and good partnerships through the continued efforts of Mayor Sheldon Neely. I'm going to turn it back over to the mayor now.
Great work there, great work there. As you guys can hear the hammering and the beating on the roof, that's the sound of progress. That's some upgrades that's being happening to our roof system here inside the City Hall. But that means that we're moving forward and we plan to be here serving the residents inside the City of Flint. Now, many people ask questions about our water infrastructure and our upgrades and where are we at currently today. We want to make sure we bring that clarity to where we are. We're in good position right now, making sure that we can get every lead line out inside the city of Flint. 28,500 lines has to be replaced. We currently have already replaced 27 or checked 27,000 residential homes, meaning that we're more than 90% completed. Those are good numbers. Those are good numbers. They're on the ground now doing restoration work inside the city of Flint and also making sure we get all the lead out. Now, you know, Mike Brown leads up that department. He is no stranger to the city of Flint. He's been here before. He's went off to take his time and his talent to another location, but he's returned to Flint. Not that he's ever left as a residential resident, but he's back home and he's been doing this process very well. Now, we all know what's going on with Jackson, Mississippi. Secondary line and their primary system went under, and they're in a hard situation, and we're lifting them in prayer. We also know what's happening in Benton Harbor, and also what we're going through inside the city of Flint. We've been leading the effort, making sure we can give our expertise to them through trial and error, what has worked for us and what has not worked for us. Going through this process with our partners on the state level and the federal level, using those high-minded dollars to put in position to be able to make sure every resident in this community is safe. Our environmental protection agencies, EGLE and EPA, they put together a plan. And with that plan, they talked about a secondary delivery system for water. Before, when we had one primary system being delivered from the city of Detroit, our secondary system was always the Flint River water. We would never, ever go back to that system. I made that promise and I made that guarantee. So we went into construction in 2020 to build a secondary delivery system from the same source, Lake Huron, fresh source of water, 2 straws and 1 water source. It was a lot of confusion going forth, putting that $17 million for that investment. Now, fast forward, why was that so important? There was a failure, catastrophic failure in that delivery system that could have had the potential to impact 23 communities in the state of Michigan in a negative way. 22 of those communities were impacted. The 23rd, Flint, was not. Currently, right now, we're getting water delivered from our secondary delivery system with all the high-tech information and all the testing that we have put forth. That secondary delivery system serves in many capacities through the city of Flint. So what I'm going to do now, to be very succinctly, to explain how that works and how it is, I put together an animation for you, and this is for your edification and your information, understanding where we are. Katie?
Flint has one of the nation's newest water infrastructure systems. This multi-million-dollar system has been upgraded to include a high-tech chemical feed building to safely and effectively treat the water, underground vaults to enhance water flow and blending, and an emergency backup storage system. Together, they work to ensure residents have access to safe drinking water in adherence with the State of Michigan Safe Drinking Water Act. Key to Flint's water system is Lake Huron, the source of our water. The upgraded water system also features a first in the city's history: 2 pipelines. A primary pipeline for daily use, and a secondary pipeline for use in the event of an emergency. The secondary pipeline has more than 7 miles of newly installed pipes. Flint's main water source and pipeline includes the Great Lakes Water Authority GLWA pipeline, where raw water is pulled from Lake Huron for treatment, and the Genesee County Drain Commission GCDC pipeline, where raw Lake Huron water is pulled from the Carignan Water Authority KWA for treatment. Treated water from the GLWA pipeline travels into the upgraded control station number 2, which features a new valve system. The treated water then travels to an underground vault where it is blended with treated water from the GCDC pipeline. Chemicals are then added to meet safe drinking water standards. The water is now ready to be stored and distributed. Flint's water storage and distribution system includes 2 separate routes for water to travel to homes and businesses. The first route is the most straightforward, where water from the vault flows directly to homes and businesses. The second route involves water flowing to the water tower, where it is held for distribution into homes and businesses. A 2-way valve system inside the water tower pushes water into a 20 million gallon underground tank and then backup reservoir, the Cedar Street Reservoir. Later this year, an additional underground water storage and pumping station system, the Dort Reservoir, will hold another 20 million gallons of reserve water to support homes and businesses in the event of an emergency. To learn more about the Flint's water infrastructure system, a model for other municipalities with aging water infrastructures, visit www.cityofflint.com/progress report.
And that's the animation speaking toward our secondary delivery system. And why is that so important? Because of what we've seen happen with that major failure in our primary system, delivery system. 32 units of government inside of Genesee County. 32 units. City of Flint is the only one left using that primary system of water delivery. Everyone else is on a municipal system or the GLS system for water delivery. A 30-year agreement was signed before I got into office. 30-year agreement, and we still have 28 years left on that particular agreement. But we see when we have an aging infrastructure, aging problems, what could happen, what the possibilities that could happen, and that's why it was so important for this administration to start and complete that secondary delivery system. We would have been in a world of trouble had we not had that completed. So, you know, it's important for us to continue the modifications and the upgrades in our systems, and you, the employees, you, the retirees, you know, because of the great work and the minds that you have put things forward to be able to make sure that residents in this community are safe. Now, I'm going to turn it over to Mike Brown, but definitely I want to thank our translators today. This is the first time that we've had a meeting where it is being translated to our Spanish-speaking population inside the city of Flint. I want to thank Latinx and ASA and the assistants in the back who's making this translation possible, but definitely we want to make sure we get this communication out to all of those individuals that may need to have this good information. Now we bring up Mike Brown, our DPW director. Mike Brown.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'm Mike Brown. I'm the DPW director for the last year and a half here for the city of Flint, and I've been a resident for most of my life in the city of Flint. What I want to talk about is some of the stuff that has been talked about before, that we are a partnership with the state of Michigan and the EPA. They gave us $167 million to do work, to get work done on our infrastructure, which included the Dort Reservoir, as you saw up there. That was completed before I got here. Since I've been here, the secondary water line, the chemical feed building, the Dort pumping station is, or excuse me, getting ahead of myself. The control station number 2 has been updated. So those 3 projects are finished, and we're working on making sure that they work correctly with our system by putting it through in actions and checking valves and getting all of our work done so that everyone knows how to run everything at the water treatment plant, treatment facility. I say water treatment, but it's really, this is treated water we're getting at the city of Flint. We buy our water either from GLEWA or GCDC. Okay, when it comes in, we do have a chemical feed building. We add chemicals to that. We're not adding chemicals for treatment. It's already treated. We're just getting the chemicals to the level that we want in our system. And thank goodness that that secondary line was done, because with the catastrophic failure, because of that second line, by the grace of God, was done before it happened. And the city of Flint, because also of the good working people, men and women at the water treatment plant, were able to switch everything over so that the city of Flint saw no change whatsoever. That there wasn't a pressure drop, we didn't have any contamination in our water lines. It changed over before anything could happen because they saw things happening and took appropriate actions. Along with that, all this investment and work that we are doing is making our infrastructure one of the best in the nation. You've seen in the videos, and I want to assure the residents that we've had no violations in our testing cycles. You've heard about the lead testing. Every 6 months we have to do a minimum of 60 tests. 30 of those must be in the hot months, and that's that number that you'll see. And the city of Flint has always been under the action level of 15 parts per billion. Okay, since this administration, I can go back and look at that data, has been here and I have been here, we have always been under that threshold. But Some people take that to mean something else. I'm going to say what that is. What that is the lead level for people who have lead lines. If you have a copper line, you're not seeing any of that because your lead line's been removed. That testing that we have to do because of what's been told, and that we will finish, and when all of our lead lines are replaced, we'll go one more year, is only lead lines. Okay, it's only lines, households out there that have lead. It's not the other 27,000 people that have been checked and have had their lines repaired and are now copper. So if you hear someone saying that the number is going up, it has gone up a little bit. Biggest reason for that is we're not doing all households anymore, we're also doing businesses. Tier 1s are households, 2 tiers are businesses, and businesses don't use as much water, and that water sits in that pipeline. A household does a better job of using water because of washing clothes, flushing the toilet, washing your dishwasher and such, dishes, okay? The other thing is that we do have 5 to 6% left of our lead lines to take a look at. We have a company out there currently doing that. They are also starting on restoration this week, so we will start getting the restoration for all of our residents that have had that ongoing for over 2 years for some of us. Those will start to be taken care of also. With that, I would also like to say that because of this administration, we have a Cedar Reservoir and a northwest line that has to be repaired or replaced. We have gone and asked the state, and the state is going to be giving us a grant for that. So we'll have 2 more projects in the next 2 years also to be done to make our infrastructure even stronger. And with that, I'd like to give it back to the mayor. I thank you for listening to me.
All right, this next little part right here gets a little interactive. I want everybody to repeat after me. Just say game changer. Game changer. We got to really say it. Game changer. Game changer. And that's what we talk about when we talk about $1.9 trillion being released up on a nation from our president and the high-minded legislation that went into place to help communities recover from the national and worldwide pandemic. You know, one of the things that we've heard a lot about is water costs and water quality. In order for us to be able to get a flat line understanding of where we need to be with the reduction of our water costs, we had to get to a point in our budget. Historically, in the city budgets, right, in my past 3 consecutive balanced budgets with the help of our CFO here, balanced budgets. Before, they used to take money from the Water and Sewer Fund. Water and Sewer Funds is an enterprise fund that's for the payment of water services, not to go in for general fund activities and used for that. Before we got here, they were taking money from the Water Sewers Fund and putting it over to the general fund, which made our water fund unstable, kept our costs artificially high. We stopped doing that. We're looking at a flat rate water study, making sure that we can try to reduce the cost of water for residents. Now, out of that $1.9 trillion that was released on the nation, the city of Flint was a benefactor for $94.7 million of our ARPA fund. What I did was put a guard in the bank, making sure those dollars would not be mismanaged, misspent, or misappropriated for things. So we will be able to track from its inception to its expiration where those dollars go. Because if we use these one-time dollars poorly, we don't have a second shot. The game changer, it wouldn't be. So we've done several things with our American Rescue Plan dollars for the city of Flint. We presented the budget on June 14th to the city council, and I look forward to the partnership that myself and Council President Pfeiffer have already engaged in actually making other services available inside the city of Flint. We welcome that input. That was a separate budget beyond the budget of our municipal budget that we had to present to the state. We solicited input from residents across the city of Flint, talking about water costs, infrastructure, economic development, blight control, public safety, and we put those dollars into position. So far, we have expended some of those dollars in many different areas to be able to enhance the quality of life for residents, from public health to safety to infrastructure repair. We've done some things, and we have more proposals in front of City Council. Hopefully, next week coming up, that we will have that first level of water rate reduction in there. We have a $300 credit that's before City Council. that $300 represents 1/4 of your water bill. The average water bill inside the city of Flint is about $1,200 a year. $300 represents 1/4 of that. Now, it's an equal and equitable way to do things, whether you're current or past due on your bill, whether you make $1 million or you make $11,000. It's a fair budgeting across the board, $300 water credit. And so hopefully we move that in position. But now I want to bring up Rob to tell you about where we actually executed upon dollars already moving in the system and where we plan on moving the rest of the dollars in the very near future. Rob? Give him a hand.
All right, so the mayor's ARPA recovery plan, detailed plan was presented to council back in June 14th of 2022. But to date, we've invested in the following areas, and these dollars were agreed upon by the city and council. And these dollars are now working through the system, and the following projects are being implemented. So one, we've leveraged $16 million into $45 million through partnerships with the Land Bank and philanthropic partners to eliminate blight by 2024. Approximately $400,000 has been spent on equipment additional for the city to work on blight elimination. We've invested in our essential workers by providing nearly $2.7 million in premium pay. Invested $450,000 in our community health centers to ensure that water and food distribution continues. Our Hasselbring and Brennan senior centers will see nearly $1 million in investments by leveraging $300,000 into $1 million thanks to the CS Mott Foundation. $2.2 million will be invested in the infrastructure for the Miller Road water main replacement project. And the full plan with more details is on the city's website. But as the mayor's mentioned, there's continued planned investment in further blight elimination, public safety, public health, and economic development. And at that point, I'll turn it back over to Mayor.
So we have dispensed some of those American Rescue Plan dollars for the benefit of the community and also the residents to reside therein. But one of the biggest things that we have is taking Buick City site, the third largest brownfield site in the state of Michigan. Once employed more than 200,000 individuals at that Buick City. That's why they called it Buick City. About 20 years ago, they vacated and they diversified their worker base. General Motors did this, moved out and left that place there. Racer Trust was left with the responsibility of remediating that site, getting it ready to be able to repurpose it with the environmental issues that they had there. They're about 95% complete. Mahindra was on the hook originally for the purchasing of that property, working through it, then the pandemic hit. It changed the world. But we planted seeds with our economic development director and our economic development plan, and we kept working through the system. Ashley Capital is now the buyer. $300 million deal, providing 3,000 to 4,000 good-paying jobs here in this region on the north side of the city of Flint. Those are the pieces that we continue to use these economic development dollars in. Now, when we talk about the demolition package, 2,200 homes that will be demoed through our partnership moving forward. But we have to move our vision beyond tearing down, but also building up. I'm proud to say, over the 3 years, we've laid off no employees. We move forward with contracts, and we're looking at those things to revisit workers' pay with our wage studies, to increase the level of pay to be able to attract new workers and new individuals to come to the city of Flint, and also reward those who have been here with the city of Flint. It's not lost upon me. It is not lost upon me. We have a reopener in our contract next year with 1,600, and I want to, Sam Muma is a good union president. He picks the pockets of the administration all the time to make sure the benefit goes to the workers. Don Lewis, we will continue to negotiate those terms, but definitely as the stress is relieved upon our budget, we can provide more for workers. When we talk about the pension system and unfunded liability, receiving a level of stress reduction in the $250 million, it gives us leave to provide better services for our residents inside this community. But we definitely look forward to the partnership and moving this community forward with clear vision and a clear path on how we move forward. And so with that, I'm not sure, Katie, did I cover just about everything? Oh, okay. Now, with our retirees, we invited all of our retirees here. We invited our employees here because definitely during this particular time of season, information gets very elusive. Misinformation gets out there. We talk about the dominant tendencies of human nature. We all want to slow down and look at a car wreck. We don't want to be in it, but we definitely look at those things. I'm unapologetic and I'm intentional about moving this community forward. We will continue to move this community forward through all the adversity that we have: civil unrest, financial stress, water crisis, and a nationwide pandemic. We have been moving forward. You, the employees, are wonderful. I can't thank you enough, but we will continue to move forward with those things. But the American Rescue Plan dollars, one-time dollars, we will populate many things in the city of Flint, but every one of our dollars, our goal is to turn it into $3 with our partnership, whether it be with the county government, the state government, philanthropic. We want to maximize this to make sure that we perfect the game changer. I want to thank Arnold Brown over the Blight Department, moving hundreds of metric tons of blight from our city, but we have to go after those individuals that is dumping in our city. I've never seen a bed with legs or a toilet with wheels. It gets out there somewhere, right? And he's been doing a fantastic job. We need to attract more employees. Today, Chief Green is signing into effect. We're now raising the rate and the wage for police trainees. As they go through the academy, the wage has been set for about a decade or better, $12 an hour. We're raising that up to $15 an hour. We understand the disparities in wage in different departments. As we work through it, we will get there. But definitely we need everybody of like thinking on board. And so at this time, Lottie has a few questions from the audience. We won't belabor this, and then we'll have some one-on-ones for media. But definitely we are moving forward, and this has been a brief clarity update, you know, from crisis to recovery. We're here. Lottie, your questions? Oh, while they're collecting, and that is our lead health navigator doing the work here. And so, and while I'm thinking a few people, also we want to make sure that we respect everyone, especially people with disabilities in our society. We have to go forth to make sure we partner with those individuals. Those are our family members and our neighbors. We want to make sure we provide a level of help and relief for them. Luke Zelli is here from the Disability Network. Thank you, Luke, for being here. I'm an individual with a disability. I have diabetes, type 2 diabetes, and we know that the cost of insulin is very high in America, and I'm so happy to see legislation moving through Lansing and our federal government to reduce the cost for insulin for those that may have the need to have that life-saving drug. Are we good? Or you? Rob might come up here with us.
So far, all the questions that we have are related to the pension fund. The question here is, what steps are being taken to ensure that the remaining balance of the pension is funded?
So at the moment, we are engaging in Lansing with our legislative partners, also governor's office. Like I mentioned, working with community organizations to try to come up with that plan. It's about $189 million left to hit the fully funded status. So there's going to be a lot of work. Legislators are just getting out of summer recess. So now there'll be a lot of trips to Lansing and vice versa to have those conversations to see what the next steps are.
You heard the plan, but I'm going to give you the vision. The vision is getting it to 100% funded. Getting it to 100% funded level gives us the opportunity to move other resources into other vital areas, whether it be transportation department that's headed up by Rodney Magaha, and this team is doing a fantastic job out there. Give them a round of applause. Followed by his buddy Al, who's worked in every city department here in the city of Flint at some time or another. But the vision is getting it to 100% funded, so we would never, ever have to worry about the commitment and the promise that workers have gotten from the municipality in which they gave so much time in their lives to, up on retirement, that they would have a check coming for the remaining of their lives. that is a commitment that we won't forfeit or fail upon while I'm here. It was so very important to be able to get us to this point. That was high-hanging fruit, and we tackled it. And so, but we have Daryl here in the back that's been talking to retirees about health care and other things of concern. He's becoming a part of an embedded portion of our city. He's in the back, and if you have more pertinent questions that needs better answers, he's back there. Daryl's too big for me to miss him. Oh, he's outside the door right there. Is that my friend Isaiah Oliver from Community Foundation here? He's back there as well. He's one of our partners as we continue to move forward in the city. And State Representative Cynthia Neely's back there from the 34th, 70th District. I just see her, and she's going to ask me if I had something to eat today.
Another pension-related question, how do these funds affect retiree health insurance coverage?
So these funds, the $220 million is completely separate from OPEB, or in other words, called retiree health care. So these funds don't address that. It addresses to ensure that the workers, employees and retirees that are in the pension system will continue to receive a pension check as they were promised and as they should.
Well, over many years, the Hurley Hospital and the city of Flint was one as it relates to our retirement system. As a city council person previously in my last few political careers, I sat on the board. Through emergency management, that system was taken away from the city of Flint. At that time, the system was about 80% funded. $475 million went from FERS and it joined MERS, the system in the state of Michigan, which we're the largest contributor and a partner into that. Since that time, they have lost a lot of our money. And so we're working to really replenish that to get it to 100 percentile. But as we look at growing our economic base and our economic ecosystem, we have to look at economic development and housing. I want to give Samantha a shout out. Raise her hand, Samantha. She's the redhead up front. Give her a round of applause. Don't make her feel. Also Tyler, he's about 6'4". He has long legs, so we make him walk all around downtown to talk to our business sector there. But attracting new businesses and new development to our community, getting a broader, wider tax base pays into the pot to provide services and wages for us all here inside the city of Flint. Proud to announce that crime is 40% down in the city of Flint, and that usually is really about 45% down, major crime in our community. And you know, we still have a lot of work to do, but those are major investments when we talk about into the helicopter or body cams or policy, no chokeholds, no knock search warrant, banning those things, and also engaging in crime prevention programs for young people, reusing our centers, our help centers, Haskell, Brink, Brennan, Burston. We have been doing these things, and it takes a little time to grow these things out. So with that, I don't want to belabor this. How I'm on time? I'm good on time? But okay, we're not good on time because I'm sending you guys back to work today. I want to get you guys back engaged and working. But definitely I want to thank our IT department and all those other departments. Media, we'll do some one-on-ones. Council President Pfeiffer, did you want to address the crowd at all? Thank you for the partnership, and I'll talk about the EMS response to people that may be in trouble. The City of Flint now 911 system is a consortium that we do not control. We used to have our own 911 system here inside the City of Flint. But response times to people that may be in trauma, medical transport units, sometimes they have to wait 20 minutes, and if somebody's having a heart attack or a stroke, every second matters. So we just recently signed a deal, Council President Pfeiffer and myself, with Stat EMS and also Banks EMS to sign a dedicated service contract with them to be able to put them right in our police mini stations and also our fire departments so we can cut response times down by half, right? And so that is very important when we have these public-private partnerships to move us forward. And so I want to thank Councilman Pfeiffer for that partnership, and we will continue to do things. And this transportation crew, they've been putting speed humps down all season, and now they're going to have to turn around and take them up and get ready for leaf collection. But definitely we are moving forward. I want to thank each and every one of you for your time and attention. I want to thank Lottie Ferguson for all the great work she does as our resilience coordinator. We have a pool of more than 100 grants that we receive, and I'm looking for one for community foundations just because Isaiah Oliver's in the back. Seamus is here with us. Huh? He gave us one? Well, you need to give us two, Isaiah. But definitely to the fire chiefs, Ray Barton, to the police chief, Terrence Green, we are doing fantastic work. We are stronger together. God bless you guys and thank you.